There's been a great deal of speculation about the various COVID vaccines and whether or not they're safe, are there any side effects, are they even vaccines? I'm going to look at this in two videos, and the first one will really be about definitions because there's a lot of ill-informed speculation, and it's really important as ever to base our views on facts, not fiction. Well, first let's get our definitions correct. What is a vaccine? The dictionary tells us that a vaccine is a substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies or provide immunity against one or several diseases prepared from a causative agent, a disease, its products, or a synthetic substitute treated to act as an antigen without inducing the disease. Now, I'm sure most of you know this, but the whole concept of a vaccine was pioneered by Edward Jenner in the late 1700s, when he noted that milkmaids who had suffered from cowpox seemed to be immune from smallpox. In 1796, he tested this hypothesis by infecting an 8-year-old boy called James Phipps with cowpox. Master Phipps developed a mild case of cowpox, but the antibodies subsequently rendered him immune to the far more deadly smallpox. Thus, Jenner's hypothesis was demonstrated. The three most well-known companies trying to develop COVID vaccines were Merck, Pfizer and Moderna. There were others, of course. Merck went with a traditional approach, but they were unsuccessful, and these efforts have now been abandoned. However, both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are being deployed in the UK at present. Both use messenger mRNA technology. So what's that? Well, mRNA technology is not that new. It's been around for about 10 years. It was developed to try and combat other illnesses before COVID ever came along, but none of the vaccines ever made it past the early stage clinical trials. There were a number of reasons for this, but the fundamental problem was that nucleic acids are usually poorly immunogenic. Usually it's proteins and polysaccharides that are effective antigens. Lipid elements are not generally immunogenic, but they can act as haptens. Now, this is a small molecule which, when combined with a larger carrier such as a protein, can elicit the production of antibodies. Now, neither the Pfizer nor the Moderna products contain live or inactivated viruses, as is traditionally the case. Instead, they work by encoding a piece of the spike protein on the surface of the SARS-CoV-2, the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19. The vaccines use a piece of encoded SARS-CoV-2 protein to trigger an immune response in your body. The mRNA gives your cells instruction to produce a protein that's similar to the coronavirus spike protein, thus tricking your system into thinking it has an infection to fight. This is the key difference between mRNA and more traditional vaccines. However, your immune system develops antibodies in response to these proteins in the normal way. It is suggested your body will eventually get rid of the proteins and the mRNA on its own. Now, there have been persistent rumours that mRNA vaccines will alter our DNA because the RNA molecule can convert information stored in the DNA into proteins. This is not true. I'm going to restate that. It's not true. They won't alter our DNA. It's critical to understand this. This is because mRNA vaccines never enter the nucleus of the cell, which is where our DNA is stored. After injection, the mRNA from the vaccine is released into the cytoplasm of the cells. Once the viral protein is made on the surface of the cell, the mRNA is broken down and the body permanently gets rid of it. Therefore, I can't identify a process where it could change our DNA. It seems impossible. Now, in the next video, I'm going to look at the results we've seen from the programs so far around the world. I'm going to need to put that up on BitChute because it's going to get a bit real for YouTube, I think, but I will put up a placeholder video on YouTube with a link if you are a subscriber. Now, at this point, I normally ask you to like, recommend and subscribe, and of course I'm going to do that. But there are two other things we can do to help spread the message. If you got this link from Twitter, could you retweet? That's a powerful tool to help us get the message out. The second thing is, if you could let me know what you think of the video, I'd appreciate it. Firstly, that's good feedback, and secondly, it helps algorithmically promote the video in YouTube search. So, like, recommend and subscribe, of course, but if you got it from Twitter, please retweet and let me know what you think of the video. Thanks.